Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this Monday midday chair yoga class. And today we're going to look at breaking down the moon salutation into various bits and pieces so that we can practice it with the support of our chairs. It won't be quite as flowing as the mat-based version, but we will hit all of the right spots. We'll get the same physical and energetic effects, and we're going to finish our practice with Chandra Bhedana, the moon breath, sometimes called the moon piercing breath. And this is a pranayama that is really great for cooling, tranquilizing, and calming the system. So, fabulous way to start the Monday. So coming onto your seat, sitting right at the front of your seat, make sure enough of your behind is supported, but you feel that you can sit away from the chair back and lift into a nice, tall, lengthened spine position. Rest your hands wherever they're comfy, and either gently close your eyes or gaze downwards. Take a few moments just to mentally step away from everything else going on around you and come into your time and space for yoga. This next 60 minutes even, devoted to an easing of tension and an easing of the mind and general sense of well-being. Begin by checking in with your body. Observe the way the body feels at this moment in time. Observe any areas of stiffness or tiredness or soreness. Remember to work compassionately with those areas as we move through our practice. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, quiet, and at ease. As you notice that sense of ease, feel it ripple out from that area, touching other parts of the body, perhaps softening a little tension, bringing a little lightness. Notice your natural breath in this moment. Just observe the natural ebb and flow of the breath, the coolness of air coming in through the nose, and the warmth of the breath as it leaves the body. Notice which parts of the body move as you breathe. Notice the rate and the rhythm of your natural breath. When you're ready, you can begin to deepen your breath. As you exhale, gently draw the navel towards the spine, using the abdominal muscles to press a little bit more air into the lungs, and then breathing deeply into the sides of the body and the back and the chest. As you exhale, long, slow exhalation, engaging across the abdomen to exhale fully. Soften the belly to breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. Feel that breath easing out of the body. Try to exhale as much as feels comfortable without strain. And then soften the belly to breathe into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Fill all the spaces you can with breath. Take a few more of these long, deep breaths, charging the body with prana rather, getting us ready for our practice. After your next exhalation, just allowing your breath to find its natural rhythm again, we're going to bring the palms together at the center of the chest, lift the chest, and take the chin only towards the chest. Just a gentle stretch of the back of the neck. Without forcing the chin down, smile to yourself. When you're ready, raise your head, release your hands, open your eyes, and we'll just roll our shoulders a few times. So here, you can allow your head to move with your movements. If it feels good to lift your chin as your shoulders go back and down, maybe draw your chin towards your chest a little as your shoulders come forward. When you're ready, going in the opposite direction, you don't have to move your head at the same time, but if it feels like a natural thing to do, and if it feels useful, then please carry on. Very good. And then before we come up into standing, I'm just going to pop my blocks to one side. I'm going to sit back into my seat a little bit so that my bottom finds its way towards the chair back, and just allow the feet to be out in front and give the ankles a little wiggle. It's got much more support for the thighs here. We can roll the ankles in the opposite direction as well. We can begin to feel the lower legs coming into their vital, energized sort of sensation. And then again, with the legs out in front, just pointing and flexing. You can do it both at the same time. So some people, if you've got a left-right imbalance that's really pronounced, you've got one side that does much more than the other, doing both at the same time can really help that side that's beginning to develop more strength to catch up, if you like. But if you like to do alternate's good for training the two hemispheres of the brain to talk to each other in a really smooth way. And so if we do this cross-crawl, cross-body movement alternately, then it helps to maintain that connection as we go through life. When you're ready, you can relax your legs down for a minute, and we'll just do a little kicking. So check there's nothing underneath your chair if your heels come back behind you, just a little warming up of the knees here. And you might also do a little side-to-side movement. So a little gentle movement side to side, swinging the legs if you are able to. It doesn't need to be, it can be quite precise swinging. And then we're going to come forward so that our feet are on the floor and the knees are right over the ankles, firm in the belly. We're going to do our little sit to stand hovers. So reaching the hands forward and just bringing the hips up a little bit and then sitting back down. Just make sure you've got enough room to do that on your seat. Reaching forward to hover, weight into the heels, and then releasing down. This time, reaching forward to hover, move your weight a little bit into your toes, then back into your heels, and then sit down. Let's do one more like that. Weight into the heels, weight into the toes, weight into the heels, and sit down. This time we're coming all the way up to standing. So coming forward, rocking the weight across the feet, standing tall, opening the arms nice and wide, feeling that big length and space, and then floating your arms down to your side. And we're up standing, which is great. We're going to move our chairs to one, well, I'm going to move my chair to one side. You don't have to. But creating enough space around you so you can practice Kati Chakrasana. So we've got nice wide feet, going to soften in the knees, feel the weight come really centered over the feet. So it's not too much in the toes, not too much in the heels, not too much left or right. So in the center, relaxing the arms and just gently twisting from side to side. Use your belly muscles just a touch here, a little lift. If you can, just allow your hips to move a touch with you as you twist. So if that feels bad in the knees, you can either pivot on the toes or you can center the hips a little bit more, both of which we're going to do anyway. So you'll just be where we need to catch up to. We're going to let the arms be heavy and loose, the shoulders really relaxed, the head follows the movement, unless you're dizzy, in which case Look at one point and let your body move around that point. When you're ready, you can begin to center the hips and resist the twist. So we need to press into feet a little bit more, really use the belly muscles a little bit more strongly. Let the arms tap the body, the hands tap the body wherever they happen to fall, trying to keep the hips just, don't have to be absolutely centered or square, but just a little bit of resistance. And when we've done that for a few rounds, we can free the feet so we pivot on the toes. And that feels so different, doesn't it? It's such a nice comparison movement to do with the previous one. So here, more of the body is involved in the flow. It feels maybe a little freer and easier. We can add a soft bend in the knees. A little dip and twist, dip and twist. Maybe touch the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite hip behind. Just giving yourself that extra movement, destination for the hands, gives them purpose. And then we're going to turn this movement into something slightly different. So we're still going to keep this dip. We're just going to let the arms sway from side to side. We're going to let the whole body sway a little bit from side to side. So we take more weight onto one side and then the other. We can do as much here with the arms as we like. So you can reach the arms all the way across the body. If that feels tight in the shoulders, you can keep the arms down. We're going to lengthen the opposite foot away. So we're creating length down that diagonal plane of the body. A little soft in the knees. And you can point your toe out to the side, or you can take it slightly behind the body, whichever of these feels right to you in this moment. Very good. And you can take it nice and steady. There's no need to go fast here. We're just building up that movement. And we're going to do about 2 more to each side. Still keeping that soft bend in the knees, that lift in the belly muscles. And then you can bring your feet and your arms more back to center. Give yourself a few sways and then firm the feet to the floor and bring yourself back into stillness. As you do, stand tall and just notice the effect of your practice. We're going to roll the shoulders again. This time we're going to do our elbows. So using the elbows to make nice big circles. And again, you can use your head in this motion if it feels good, so that the effect is through the whole of the upper back. We get this rounding and opening, rounding and opening. Very good. If it feels good doing this with your elbows bent, you can try this with your arms a bit longer. They don't have to be straight, but alternating the cross of the arms in front of the body, if that feels good to you. The next time your arms come up, we're going to let the right arm come down and just reach, let the left arm come down and reach the right arm over, and then go to the other side. So we're doing a little side bend here, side to side, and we're firm in the feet and firm in the belly, and just beginning to explore what's happening down the side of the body. So you can do this equally well with the hands on the hips if having the arms waving around too much doesn't help, or you can keep your arms a bit more contained. But taking the opportunity to move in the way that suits your body the best. Very good. So we're going to do 1 more to each side. And then finish with both arms reaching up. And then just turn the palms and float the arms down to the sides of the body. And as you do that, feel the effect across your chest, across your upper back, across your shoulders and arms. Maybe give yourself a little dancing shoulder if you need to. Fantastic stuff. So we're going to use our chair for a little bit of support to do some hip movements. But if you have got a handy wall or doorway, you might prefer to do that. Something that doesn't move around at all is quite good. So I'm standing with my chair on my right side, so I can do my left side first. It doesn't matter which side you do first, but just remember to do both sides. So we're going to start with lifting the hips away from the floor. So we want to take the weight onto the right leg, but just lift the left hip a little so that we can free the left leg from the floor and do a little gentle swinging of this leg backwards and forwards. We want to try to avoid moving the whole body. So we're resisting with our belly muscles, with the muscles of the sides and the back of the body, with the support of that standing leg. And we can even point the toes forward and flex the heel backwards if that feels comfortable. There's no need to do any particular size of swing here. It's just whatever suits your body. Try to keep your chest lifted. If it helps, you can take your other arm, your left arm, out to the left, so that you get that support, that sense of open across the chest. And when you're ready, you can step onto both feet again and observe that coming back to center sensation, where you get a release of the effort of the standing leg. We always think it's the moving leg that makes the effort, but the standing leg is what's doing. So I'm going to actually use the wall for my second side because it's right here. I think that should be fine. But changing to the opposite side, and again, taking your weight onto now the left leg, the standing leg, to lift the right hip slightly away from the floor and begin with just a gentle swinging. We're trying to keep that sensation of lift in the body, openness in the chest. We need to make muscular effort to be able to do that. There's no need to have your leg absolutely straight, but if you want to straighten it, that's great. If you want to point and flex, you can point and flex. You can reach your right arm back to the right, draw the shoulder blades towards each other to have that sense of open in the chest and avoid moving around too much with the upper body. And then when you're ready, you can gently step onto both feet, relax the arms down, just give the body a moment to sort of settle back into the pelvis being quite even and equal. And that's great. Then we're going to come to our first side. You can see why I've done that this way. So first side again, we'll weight onto the right foot, and with the left foot, we're just going to point the left toes forwards and then make a circle around the body on the floor. So the left toes eventually come behind the body, perhaps even cross slightly behind the right leg. So the left toes are on the floor to come forwards, and again, they might cross slightly over the right leg in front. So if this is comfortable on your hips, then you can keep going with this, just nice and slow and steady, nice and lifted in the center of the body. If this doesn't work for you, this is the alternative. You can point the left toes forwards and then bring the feet back to the center, and then point the left toes out to the left side, just to wherever feels good, and bring the feet back to the center, and then point the left toes behind and come back to center. So instead of this articulation through the hip, you get the same movements, but just done in a slightly different way. Pointing the toes forwards, back to center, to the side, back to center, behind, back to center. It looks like ballet. So when you're ready, finishing doing the last one that you're on, and then bringing your feet back to center, just taking a moment here to stand on both feet. Feel that even effort through the pelvis, or more even effort through the pelvis. Do a little march in place. Super. And then we'll do the opposite side. So you can either turn yourself to the opposite side of your chair or come to using the support of a wall or another item close by. Pointing the right foot forward, having that lift through the hips, and just drawing on the floor a circle with the right foot all the way around the body behind and all the way around the body in front, and going to wherever your hips are comfortable to go to. For those who are not comfortable to do this, absolutely fine. Just pointing the right foot forward, back to the center, right foot out to the side, back to the center, right foot behind, back to the center. So if you can, making that circle, And if you prefer doing your sliding foot back, front, side, and back. Same principle of keeping the chest nice and open and keeping that effort in the belly muscles. When you're ready, stepping onto both feet, just feeling that the weight of the pelvis drop into both sides of the body. Give yourself a little wiggle if you need a little wiggle. And we are going to come back to our first side. So this time with our left leg, we're standing tall on the right, and we're going to bring the left knee in front and just make circles with the left knee. Now, it doesn't matter what these circles look like, but in time, we want to develop the movement to be larger if possible. So we need to really focus on the lift in the belly and that strength in the standing leg, the support from the opposite arm as well, and see if you can make the largest circle possible before rotating the opposite way. And you might find it's more comfortable in one direction than the other. So in the uncomfortable direction, just making slightly smaller, slower circles. You might find that it works better on one side of the body than the other. It certainly does for me. Next time you bring your knees together, just stepping onto both feet, observing the difference between the two sides of the body. And every time we do this unilateral work with one side of the body, the other side supporting, we get this real development of our strength and our ability to feel comfortable on one foot. Now, we're using a little bit of support as we stand on one foot, but it all helps balance going forward. Let's do the opposite side. So the left leg is going to be our standing leg, standing nice and tall, lifting the right knee in front of us, and then just starting with, oh, hear my hip clicking, starting with whatever circles feel good. Maybe they're quite small, maybe they're slightly bigger, maybe you're able to develop into the space just as the hips open and warm. You've got that strength in the center of the body. This is my least favorite direction or my least favorite side. So definitely clicky. And then when you're ready, going in the opposite direction. And there's a practice of movement called CARs, continuous articulated rotations. And it is said that these movements of the hips and shoulders are really, really good for us longer term. But if we've lost some of our range of movement, we have to gradually get it back again. Next time you bring your knees together, place your feet on the floor, just feel the weight drop into those feet, wiggle anything that needs wiggling, do a bit of marching if that feels good to you. Awesome. So we're going to come to stand in front of our chairs, and we're going to practice some parts of the first bit of the Moon Salutation here with our chairs. So the chair can be used any time you need it for support. And although the chair is in front, we're going to do a little bit of side bending so you can have your opposite hand on your chair if needed. Okay, no problem at all. So we're going to first take our weight onto both feet, hands resting onto the chair, and just do a little lift of the heels up and a lower of the heels down. And we're just going to do 4 more of these, lifting the heels up, lowering the heels down. You can see that my weight is rocking into my toes and then rocking back into my heels. Maybe the toes come up a little bit, rocking forwards into the toes, rocking back into the heels. Let's do 1 more. Coming up and down. And then we'll bring our feet onto the floor so that our weight is in the center, and just bend the knees and straighten the legs just a couple of times. As you look down at your feet, make sure that your feet are at least hip width apart. And then here, using the chair whenever you need to, but using both arms if you can, you're going to stand really tall. Take a deep breath in, take the arms around the body, looking up, drawing the palms together, and then as you breathe out, draw the hands down to the center of your chest. So breathing in, taking the arms around the body, looking up, lifting in the belly. Breathing out, drawing the palms together at the center of the chest. This time, we're going to breathe in and take the arms out, but imagine we've got an enormous beach ball. And so we don't need to get the palms together, just leave the arms nice and far apart. And as we breathe out, draw the shoulders back and down. And then here, going to the left first, breathing in as we reach over to the left, nice little side bend. You could have your hand down on the chair, right hand. Breathing out back to center. Breathing in as we go over to the right and breathing out back to the center. Let's do that one more time to each side. Breathing in, nice and firm in the feet and the belly. Breathing out back to the center. Breathing in over to the right. Breathing out back to the center. Now we're going to breathe in as we reach the left hand behind us, the right hand to the chair. So we twist to the left, breathing out as we come back to the center. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Breathing in, taking the right arm over to the right side, twisting to the right, and breathing out back to the center. A little soft in the knees, one more time to each side. Breathing in to the left, twist. Breathing out, return to center, holding onto the chair. Breathing in, twist to the right. Breathing out, returning to center. Very good. With the support of the chair, we can breathe in, reach the arms up. As we breathe out, fold forward, hands onto the seat, and step your feet back and take a little gentle chair down dog. So lifting in the belly muscles, pressing into the feet, maybe gently swaying the hips from side to side if that feels good, pressing into the chair itself, trying not to let the head come down below the arms, but be nice and centered, long in the neck and strong in the shoulders. When you're ready, you can walk your feet in to come up to standing. We're going to leave the right foot where it is and step the left foot back. So we want to have as open a space between the 2 feet as possible, but with the feet still hip width apart at the toes at least. We're going to bend the front knee and firm the buttocks. So we slightly tuck under, get the sense of open space along the left side of the body. Leave the right hand where it is and reach your left arm up. And take that left arm as far back as feels comfortable. So you get a really, you make almost a crescent moon shape from the left fingertips to the left heel. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we bring our arm back to the seat, soft in the knees, get buoyant across the feet, and gently, lightly step your left foot in. Do the same thing on the other side, but downward dog in between. So we take the feet back, reach the hands away from us, press into the back of the seat, firm the belly. If you need to, you can give your hips a little bit of a wiggle, maybe a head turn from either side to side. When you're ready, you can press into your chair seat and walk forwards. We're going to walk all the way up to the back of the seat so we can step the right foot as far back as possible. The left knee is a little bit bent. The feet are still hip width apart. The left hand remains on the chair back. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, firm the belly, and then reach the right arm up and back. Out to the side if it needs to be, but trying to reach it back so we get this crescent moon shape down the right side of the body. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we bring our right hand back to the chair seat, get a little soft and buoyant across the feet and the ankles so we can lightly step the right foot forwards and take one more downward facing dog, stepping the feet back, a little soft in the knees, extending through the tailbone, nice and firm through the shoulders and the belly. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then press into the hands to walk all the way forwards. Standing tall. Awesome sauce. Okay, So we're going to do that whole practice again, but from the first bits with just the arms, but try to put it together so it flows just a touch better. So I'm just going to turn my chair ever so slightly this way. I hope that's going to be good. And do it facing onto the chair, and I hope that it's obvious where I'm going and what I'm doing. So we want to, the chair we don't necessarily need for these first few bits, but if you need to use it at any stage, it's right there. Step as close to the chair as makes sense for you. We're going to start by standing tall, feet are about hip width apart, and turning the palms so that the palms come forward and the shoulder blades can roll towards each other down the back. Breathe in as you take the arms around the body, looking gently up, breathing out, palms together and down to the center of the chest. Breathing in one more time around the body and up. Breathing out, palms together and down to the center of the chest. This time, as we breathe in, take the arms around the body, but when they get to big beach ball, breathe out and draw your shoulders back and down. We're going to breathe in as we lean over to the left side, plant the right foot firmly into the floor and breathe out back to the center. Breathing out over to the right side, plant the left foot firmly to the floor and breathe out back to center. Let's do one more to each side. Breathing into the left, breathing out as you return, nice and firm in the belly. Breathing into the right, breathing out as you return. In the center here, breathe in as you reach the left arm back and the right hand forward. You can reach for the chair if you'd like to, soften the knees. Breathing out as you return to center. Breathing in as you twist to the right, nice and firm in the belly, arms nice and wide, or touching the chair with the left hand. Breathing out back to the center. One more time in each direction. Twist to the left as you breathe in. Breathing out as you return. Twist to the right as you breathe in. Breathing out as you return. In the center, breathe in and reach up. Breathe out, let the hands come down and step your feet back into your downward dog pose. And here, a little soft in the knees, a little wiggle of the hips, maybe a turn of the head from side to side, wiggle of the shoulders if you like. Here, we're going to move from here into our lunge position, or warrior one position. So we're going to step forward with the right foot and press the left heel into the floor. And that action brings us into an upright position, tucking the tailbone under. And here, we're just going to really anchor into that back heel, turning out the toes as much as you need to for your hips. And then reach the left arm up and maybe slightly out to the side and back. So we get this beautiful crescent moon type of curve down the back line of the body. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then we're going to take the left hand back to the seat, soften the knees and step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle here in your downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, step the left foot forward to the seat. Press into the legs, lengthen the back leg, soften the front knee. So you come into this upright warrior one position. And then tucking the tailbone under, firm in the belly, reaching the right arm up and maybe slightly out to the side to open your chest in this crescent moon type of shape. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're going to bring our right arm back to the chair, nice and soft in the knees, to step the left foot back to the right, square up the feet and find your downward facing dog. And then from here, we're just going to walk the feet forward. Look forward, walk the feet all the way in, standing close to your seat until you are absolutely sure that you are not dizzy at all. And then we'll just wriggle our shoulders a little and step away from our chairs. Time marches on. I can't believe how quickly it goes, but that's all good. We are going to come to sit on our seat for the next part of our practice. So I'm going to have some blocks ready for when I need them under my feet later. But for this part of the practice, we're going to take the knees as wide as feels comfortable to you. So if you are much more narrow, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have any impact on like a correct way to do a posture. It's not about that. It's about developing into the space that feels comfortable for you. So I'm far enough back on my seat that I feel that my buttocks and the tops of my thighs ever so slightly supported. And I've got my knees pointing outwards because my feet are pointing outwards. If your feet are not pointing outwards, your knees might point more forward. So we want the knees to track the feet really in a way that feels quite natural. And because we're sitting at the front of our seat, we're using our belly muscles to stand tall, but we're also pressing the feet into the floor to get the support of the legs. So the legs are not passive, we're active in the legs, we're actively pressing down and feeling the thigh muscles switch on. And we're going to start by taking the arms out to the side. We're going to take the left arm first, left hand or forearm down to the left leg and reach the right arm over, nicely lifted in the belly muscles. And then we're going to press off that left arm and come over to the opposite side, right hand or forearm down to the right leg and reaching the left arm over. So we're doing this nice movement from side to side. We're just going to do 3. So this is our number 2. Just moving gently and slowly, really firm in the belly, really pressing the feet into the floor, so active in the legs. One more time to each side. Beautiful. And it's really graceful, it's really steady, it's really controlled. And then we're going to come back up to the center, and in the center, we're going to bend our arms at the elbows to find our goddess arms. I realize that my top is blending in with the wall a little bit. I hope you can see well. So here we're rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, pressing the feet down, keeping the chest open. We're going to do 3 breaths. And those of you who practice regularly will know what that means. So we're breathing in and we're going to lengthen the arms as we look up. And as we breathe out, draw the fists to the side of the rib cage and exhale forcefully. Excellent. Let's do 2 more like that. Breathing in, stretch the arms looking up. Breathing out. Lovely. Breathing in, stretch the arms. Breathing out. And then just gently reach the arms wide and float them down to the sides. Here, we're going to turn the knees to point forwards for those of you who don't already have that. And I want to bring my knees close enough that I can fit my forearm over them, but not super close. So it's still quite far apart if we can. And then here, we're going to sit really tall. We're going to first take the left forearm and rest the elbow to the left thigh and the hand to the right thigh, and then reach the right arm around to the right side with a slight forward bend. So we're slightly forward bending, we're slightly twisting. And then we're going to come back to the center, arms nice and wide. Same thing to the other side. Right elbow to right leg, right hand to left leg, and then draw the back of the shoulder around as we lengthen the left arm up and round. Come back to the center. Let's breathe in here and breathe out as we twist to the right. Come back to the center, breathing in here, breathing out as we twist to the left. One more time each side, breathing in, breathing out as we twist, breathing in, breathing out as we twist. Finish by breathing in and breathing out as we draw the arms down to the side, and we're going to bring the knees towards each other. And we're going to encourage the thighs and the ankles together as we sit tall and just roll the shoulders. Very good. Super stuff, guys. So just to loosen off the hips a little bit before we come to doing our seated pranayama pose, we're going to take the knees wide and just let the knees sway from side to side. So we're rolling on the sole of the foot from side to side. And although it doesn't look controlled, because it wasn't, we are going to control it. So we're going to really lift in the belly. You can even lean slightly back on your seat if that feels good. Support the body with the hands and just gently move the knees one way and then the other. Very good. When you're ready, come back to sitting upright, and we're going to try drawing one knee into the chest. So we're going to draw the left knee into the chest. It could be hand under the thighs and just lift it a bit. It could be hand around the shin and lift it in a bit, but sitting tall and then coming back to both feet on the floor and doing the right side. So under the thigh or around the shin, draw the knee towards you and release. Now, if this is challenging, just do a little, just a little lift is fine on either side. If you're able to, you get that a slight rounding, if you like, through the low part of the back on either side. Very good. And we're going to finish by sitting ourselves far back in our seats and taking a seated forward bend. Breathing in, taking the arms wide. Breathing out, hands to the tops of the thighs. Slide your hands forward and fold forward over your knees as your hands come down towards your ankles. Maybe they don't go all the way, maybe they do. If it feels comfortable, let your torso follow. Maybe your torso rests on your thighs. Relax the back of your neck. Let your shoulders be nice and soft. If you touch the floor with your fingertips, you can even turn the backs of the hands towards the floor. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel what that does in your back. Let's do one more like that. Deep breath in, deep breath out. To come up, hands to the tops of the thighs first, and then firm your belly, press into your feet and your hands, look forward, lengthen your spine, and come slowly up to an upright position. So we're not uncurling, we're hinging up. And then you can roll your shoulders, make any movements that feel good to you in this moment. Excellent stuff. So we're going to move now into our pranayama practice, and we're going to put on any warm, comfortable clothing and go straight from pranayama into relaxation. So this pranayama, because we're doing Chandra Bhedana and it is cooling and tranquilizing and calming, it's a natural gateway into stillness practice of relaxation or even meditation. So we're using the opportunity to do that, which is great. But because it's cooling, I recommend getting yourself cozy in your blanket for this practice. I'm just wrapping mine under me a little bit so it's nice and cushioned. But for our pranayama, we want to sit tall, so we don't want to relax into the back of the chair just yet. So bear that in mind. We'll shuffle ourselves backwards after a wee while. So Chandra Bhedana falls into the alternate nostril breathing practices. And so if you're not familiar with alternate nostril breathing, you may prefer this first time, either in-person practice or on the video, just listening to the instructions and then practicing on your own by rewinding or following the short companion video on just this pranayama that's coming out this week as well. So for alternate nostril breathing, normally we breathe in on the left and out on the right, and then in on the right and out on the left, and go from side to side. This is called anuloma, viloma, or nadi shodhana. But for Chandra Bhedana, we breathe only in on the left-hand side and only out on the right. So it's always in left, always out right. Always in left, always out right. So let us practice our hand mudras for blocking the nostrils, because we want to gently close the opposite nostril when we're breathing. So we take our hands, your dominant hand is best, and curl all the fingers into the palm of the hand. Then extend your thumb, your ring finger, sorry, your little finger and your ring finger, so that your first two fingers, first finger and middle finger, are still on the palm of your hand or in that general direction. And you might need to use your opposite hand to even this out and make it feel a bit more comfy. If you're dreadfully uncomfortable like this, and it does take practice, then you might prefer to rest your middle finger on your third eye center with the first finger on top, and then the ring finger and thumb can be on the nose either side. But if you're comfortable with this, is called Deer Mudra, then we can place the hands to the face so that the thumb will close the right nostril and the ring finger will close the left nostril, if your right hand dominates, that is. So as we hold this position, we're just resting the hand on the nose, but a little bit higher up where it's not closing any of the nostrils. We want to relax the elbow to the body and relax the shoulder of that arm down. You can use your other arm to support by holding your elbow as well. And just practice really softly and gently closing one nostril and then the other, just using a really gentle amount of closure pressure. So we're not forcing the nose from one side to the other, we're just practicing, we're pressing the fleshy outside part of the low nose, not sticking our fingers in our noses as well. I've seen that happen in class. Very good. And then keep your mudra, but relax your arm for a moment. So in this next part of the practice, we'll sit tall, take 2 deep breaths, and then we'll begin. And I'll talk you through the first 5 rounds. But if you feel at all breathless at any stage, if it feels uncomfortable, just resting out. And I should point out at this stage that this breath lowers the blood pressure. Probably not when you're doing it for the very first time, but definitely with practice, it lowers the blood pressure. So do bear that in mind. If you already have low blood pressure, then I would suggest you rest out of this breath and practice with an in-person teacher under guidance if you wish to do it. But today, deep breathing would be fine. So we're going to sit tall. We're going to bring our hands towards the face, but rest the fingers out of the way of the nose just now. Rest the elbow to the chest and the shoulder down, and take a deep breath in. Feel that breath lift the spine long. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in, maybe closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. Deep breath out, and at the end of that breath, close your right nostril and breathe in through your left. And then close your left nostril and breathe out through your right. Close your right nostril, breathe in through your left. Close your left nostril, breathe out through your right. Close, breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Close, breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. One more. Close, breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. At the end of your exhalation, relax your hand and arm down. Breathe normally through both nostrils and just observe the effect of these first 5 rounds. Now, the rhythm that I've given you might not be quite suitable for what your breath is doing right now. So for the next 10 rounds, I'm going to talk you through 2 and then leave you to practice in your own rate and rhythm. So allow your breath to follow whatever pattern it wishes to follow, with whichever length or pauses or anything that might be happening. The only important thing with this breath is that you breathe in through your left and out through your right. And we're going to practice 10 rounds in total-ish. I'll be counting. You don't need to, and I'll let you know when we're done. And at the end of this practice, we're going to keep our eyes closed and gently sit back into the seat and see if we can find some of that tranquility from the breath to guide us into a stillness for relaxation as well. Okay, so when you're ready, you can do Deer Mudra if you need to do it from scratch. Fit hand in a fist, extend thumb, little finger, ring finger, and then draw that hand to the face. Let the elbow be against the body and the shoulder nice and relaxed. Sit as tall as feels comfortable without strain. Close your eyes or gaze gently downwards. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then close your right nostril, breathe in on your left. Close left, breathe out right. Close right, breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. Close, breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Keep going in your own time. Breathing in on the left. Breathing out on the right. At the end of your next exhalation, keeping the eyes gently closed if you can, relax your arm down and then just give yourself a moment to settle back into your chair so your back is supported by the back of your chair. Then allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm and observe the effect of your practice. If you can observe an effect of peacefulness, calmness, tranquility, focus on those sensations and allow them to move through the whole of the body, softening the forehead, the area around the eyes and the nose, the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. Allow the shoulders, arms, hands and fingers to soften. The back and the front of the body to soften, to become heavy, to release down. Allow the hips, legs, knees, ankles, feet and toes to become still, heavy, soft and relaxed. Turn your awareness to your breath. Observe the gentle ebb and flow of the breath. Allow your body to relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. Maybe taking a deep breath and yawning to stretch across the face and move that stretch into the arms and legs, maybe the left and right sides of the body. Maybe rounding through your back, maybe moving your neck. When you feel ready, you can bring yourself back to center and bring the palms to the center of the chest, lifting the chest and just taking your chin towards your chest. Observe that quiet calm inside. Know that it's always there. You can always reach it if you need it. Gently smile to yourself. And when you're ready, raising your head, releasing your hands and opening your eyes. I hope that you've enjoyed this practice, and particularly the moon breath and its tranquil qualities. And I look forward to sharing another practice with you again soon. Namaste.